Good morning, 8:35 a.m., 4/15/2019. All right, so I'm gonna get right into it. So, question one: discuss the similarities and differences between scientific management, bureaucratic theory, and Weber's perspectives on authority. So, um, basically, we need to break down the differences right off the bat. So, scientific management emphasizes on an organization-oriented and production-centered perspective of organizational communication. The approach of this is to believe that organizations should be run like machines. So there's little to no talk within that environment. Bureaucracy is what an organization should try to attain, in which it selects the authority based on criterion and standards rather than popularity or family relation. And Weber's perspective was every organization needs a chain of command. This is on page 114. So this would help alleviate jobs and training, and which increases production. So the similarities here, they all revolve around organization is in need of some sort of authority that can take charge. The differences, one revolves around explicitly working like machines. The other two are pretty much like choose the best individual who would make the employees help finish the job. One could keep up morale and productivity. The other one reduces training, so it's not like apprenticeship and stuff. So that's kind of how that one works. For the next question, what are strengths and weaknesses of human relations and human resources approach to management? How are they similar or different? Have you had experiences in the workplaces or other organizations that help you better frame your understanding of the two perspectives? So, first part again, what are the strengths and weaknesses of human, or basically both HRs? So, the strengths that are human relations and resources believe that they have the variety of resources and skills that can tap into basically any new employees or workers' abilities or their skill sets. Their weaknesses is how they pertain to individuals who they work for of that organization. They vary in reliability for employees. Another weakness is how they take approach to the employees within their organization. I can't say that I have any experience with or in a workplace or organization that had an HR department, whether that's relations or resources. The Marines has its own version of HR. They call it SMP program. The P at the end is kind of redundant, but it stands for Single Marines Program. So, however, they don't do it just for single Marines. They do it for families as well. It's just incentive to be single in the Marine Corps and get these incentives, or you don't get paid extra. It's just opportunities that you can take within the Marine Corps between on your weekends and stuff. So it's not like every weekend. It's kind of like maybe a once or twice a month kind of thing. It might be a concert. It could be taking a trip to Tokyo if you live in Japan, or if you live in South Korea, you might take a trip to Seoul and see some things. Basically, they grant opportunities to do special events to increase morale and productivity between weekends. So that's the only experience that I've ever had with like HR per se, or whether that was relations or resources. They didn't have like very limited resources per se. So like if you're an alcoholic, they have like some AA functions, but they don't have anything else like that. So next question. Discuss motivational theories. What are they? How do they work? What can you take away from the theories offered to help you in your chosen pursuit? So the motivational theories here were they're created by or sought out by Abraham Maslow, however you want to pronounce that. These are the distinct factors that make people motivated. This can range from like love, safety needs, physiological, money, self-esteem, self-actualization, and so forth. So basically, they work as people would want them to work. For me, I'm motivated through hard work, creativity, basically self-esteem and stuff. So I'm not really in it for the love at work, or I mean, if anything, I'm more into it for the money than I am the anything else in that. I don't even care for safety needs. It could be a pretty hard working environment, and I'd still do it. So, there are some negative things to do with this. I don't remember what the book called it. The hygiene. That's what it was. It was hygiene. So hygiene for me would be stuff like micromanaging. I absolutely hate micromanaging. I'm sure some people have dealt with micromanaging. I think pursuing a good career will help me not only motivate but achieve my money goal mainly. So that's kind of my pursuit. So with my past job, I'm going to use a relevant experience. So with one of the past jobs that I had, I was doing this website, and every day, like, I don't know, maybe within the hour, my boss would come over and be like, "How's that website coming along?" Like, it takes a while. It's not it's not a 1 day thing. These, most websites take they can take a month, maybe even longer, depending on how well you want them. But I put a lot of work into it, and it was just annoying to get micromanaged by the hour on, and she wasn't seeing results like she wanted to see, and I'm like, it's not that easy. I can't just script write something real quick. But that's kind of one of the micromanaging things I had. And one day she took me in her office, and she's like, "Hey, I'm not seeing much getting done." And she's like, "It's been a month and some change." And I'm like, "Look, I hate being micromanaged. If you just back off, I can get this done quick." So sure enough, she actually took my advice, which I really appreciate. She quit micromanaging. She would just check in maybe once a week. And one day she was like, "Hey Colton, excellent job on the website. It looks really good right now." And I was almost done with it at that time too. So I was actually glad that she recognized my hard creativity work that I got to put into it. So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, I hate being nitpicked and critiqued. But if you just let me be with my creative potential, and I'll shine through, I guess. So that's my personal experience. That's also some of the things I wanted to get to on here. That's also on page 132, figure 3.3. It shows you that recognition is a motivator for individuals, and how micromanaging is a hygiene for others. So, and I just happened to get both of those, turn one into the other. So it was kind of nice. Next question. The video altogether is about 14 years old. Does its age impact the overall information? Connect at least two ideas presented in the text to the video. So I don't believe that the age of the video impacted the overall information. It's pretty close to the text. It didn't convey it like the text. It's not going to tell you the Kurt, what did I have on here? I have the Kurt Lewin theory was applied on, on the page or whatever. It is, but hypothetically, it kind of did talk about these kind of things, and I'll explain here in a sec. So the video impacted overall information. It just made it difficult to watch the first 2 minutes, in my opinion. It was introductions and elevator music is what it seemed like. So, kind of didn't vibe for me. One idea presented in the video compared to the text is establishing a structure or hierarchy of some sort of chain of command. So within the first 5-6 minutes, probably close to 5 minutes, they were discussing who the two leaders were for that group, and what kind of rules were going to be made. So the first thing that they did was establish the rule sets. One of the first rules was no cell phones, to keep people motivated and guidance to prepare for the hike. So This is also related to the text because getting rid of cellular devices created an interpersonal environment for the individuals. This means that they were separated from work, families, parents. For some of the individuals, that they haven't been separated from their parents for like, more than a week, is what one of the ladies said. So that's all on page 115 if anyone wants to check that out for interpersonal environment. Impersonal environment, not interpersonal. Another idea presented in the video that was comparative to the text was making sure everyone got to know one another, or as known as the Kurt-Lewin theory was applied here. That was on page 125. This is when people who interact and talk to one another will more likely be able to overcome a barrier. So their barrier in the video was to do, the rope climbing and all the other events that they had, like climbing between the two ropes, and if one of their feet touched or if they moved the rope, they had to start over again. So in this case, the Kurt-Lewin theory was the housewives and meat. So a lot of the housewives didn't want to go out by themselves and purchase meat during the industrial times, I guess, or during that World War I or World War II, whatever war that I was talking about. So during this time, he got together a bunch of housewives, and when they were able to converse with each other and convey information between them, it would help them with meat buying tendencies. So it was something a little different, something I didn't know. And that's all I have. Thank you for watching my video, and I changed the color for my picture for Dan. Hope you like the change. Thanks.